What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we've got some awesome information for you guys, but before we get into that, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell. And thank you so much to all of the congrats that we did get to 100,000 subscribers on the channel. I really do appreciate it. So let's go ahead and jump right into the Nintendo Switch and RPG news. We're gonna first start off with Triangle Strategy. This game has hit a brand new milestone, and it's something that I felt would happen, and I'm super glad that it did, because Triangle Strategy represents to me the old school style and spirit of doing things, of having that old school game that's boxed, physical as well, that gives you a complete experience without any DLC whatsoever. And the fact that it's not a super big AAA game and was able to have this level of success is very good. So total worldwide shipments and digital sales for Triangle Strategy have surpassed 1 million units, according to publisher Square Enix. Now, Triangle Strategy launched for the Nintendo Switch on March 4th, worldwide, followed by a PC via Steam release on October 13th. Then it was last reported on March 18th that Triangle Strategy was nearing 800,000 shipments and digital sales. At this point, only the Switch version was available. Now, the PC Steam version of Triangle Strategy is currently on sale for 40% off. The discount price is $35.99 until December 22nd. So I feel what people were trying to ask about this is what's going on with the Switch sales compared to the PC sales? Like, how much of the million plus is PC versus Switch? Now, we do know that 800,000 as of March of 2022 was the Nintendo Switch, and it wasn't until later that the PC version came. Now, I did look up on Steam DB and Steam Spy and some of these sites where you can see the all-time highs and peak highs of certain Steam games being played, and Triangle Strategy barely left a dent at all. Like, there was far more popular games when it comes to the JRPG realm. I think that the majority of the sales here, I would probably say, based off of the information, is probably 950,000 plus on the Nintendo Switch, and that's just generous when it comes down to it. So essentially what I'm trying to say here, it looks like Switch owners really took up to Triangle Strategy and didn't just stop getting the game. Yes, sales slowed down considerably, but probably another 100,000 units plus was on the Nintendo Switch. And as there's actually price drops and sales and discounts, I think that it's going to be well over that million plus just on the Nintendo Switch by itself, if it's not already there. So once again, very good stuff for this small AA HD 2D type of game. I think that Team Asano has put out banger after banger on the Nintendo Switch and really hasn't missed at this point. If you look at all of their games, the lowest selling Team Asano game in the new age of the Nintendo Switch is Live Alive, and that is a remake, and that game is still over 500,000 units and still going. I think that game is going to get better and better as there's discounts and other things as well. So this is awesome to see Team Asano have so much success with the varying different studios that he gets to help with these HD 2D games, and I think that things are going to take a huge bump up with the next HD 2D game that's coming out, and that is Octopath Traveler 2. That game's going to do insane numbers, especially since it's hyped up and now it's launching on PC, Switch, PS5, all at the same time. PS4, it's launching on all those, so this is going to be a big release. And then you got Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D as well that's coming out, which should be massive when it comes to sales, especially in Japan. So very good news across the board here. But what are your thoughts when it comes to Triangle Strategy with the shipments and digital sales topping 1 million units? Let me know in the comment section below. And before we get into the next topic here, guys, I want to make sure that I direct your attention to our big holiday giveaway that's going down. If you're someone that's new to the channel and you're not subscribed yet, you're definitely going to want to subscribe and check out the link in the description for details, because we were giving away a ton of stuff from the Metroid Dread Special Edition, Nintendo Switch OLED, eShop credit, and so much more. So if you want more information on that, check out the link in the description below. All right, next up, we're talking about Fire Emblem Engage on the Nintendo Switch. There's a bunch of new footage and details to go over, and I wanted to talk about a couple different things because the marketing for Fire Emblem Engage is really heating up, and this game is looking absolutely incredible with the updated builds and new Twitter drops and new screenshots and everything that we're learning about it. Fire Emblem Engage to me is going to be one of those huge hits for Intelligent Systems and for Nintendo early in the year. I can see this game actually outselling Fire Emblem Three Houses based on a number of factors, which I've discussed before, but we can talk about right now, and that is the COMG charts in Japan, with the pre-order sales absolutely blowing throwing away Fire Emblem Three Houses, obviously the bigger install base of the Nintendo Switch, in addition to going back to the roots and kind of tapping into the different emblem rings and kind of what Fire Emblem Heroes, the most popular or more like the most revenue generating Fire Emblem game of all time, has done, was actually a very smart move for Nintendo. So Nintendo did put up new screenshots and talked about Fire Emblem Engage, and they talked about the Engage attack, Lodestar Rush, a powerful and blindingly fast flurry of blows. Dragon units get an additional 2 attacks when they use it, so pairing Marth with a layer is an excellent choice. So this is one of the strategies that you can employ in Fire Emblem Engage, where yeah, you can put any emblem ring on any character, but if you do the right pairings, which actually benefit the character, you'll see those extra boosts that you get. So any dragon unit, well, Alir, that's a dragon unit with Marth, the ties go back to that, so bam, there you go, you get that extra 2 attacks as well. So I love what they're doing from that aspect. And we also have some more information on a brand new character, Kagetsu, and the starting class, I think for the first time they showed this, and that's the Sword Master. Now, the Sword Master is experts who have walked the path of the sword to the end. They unleash powerful techniques while tightly dodging attacks. So awesome stuff here. I love the new desert area that they showed off here. It just looks super good. I think one of the things that you can say about Fire Emblem Engage is that they took a concerted effort to make sure that the details of the background and the characters and the animations were all super high quality and good. I think getting Gust involved, it looks like a perfect fusion between what Intelligent Systems and Fire Emblem does, and also Atelier Ryza that you would see in those graphics on the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation. So it's very good that they've done this to improve the quality of the game, but I also think the game was probably rooted in a smaller, more grounded experience, whereas Three Houses, they were probably debugging and programming with the 3 different campaigns and all the different stuff that was going on there, and I felt that that game had some troubles along the way, considering it got 2 delays over the course of its life. So I feel that Fire Emblem Engage is a back to the basics, back to the roots type of Fire Emblem experience that was a lot smoother, where they focused in on that one Fire Emblem Awakening style of story and put on one gimmick on top of that with the emblem rings, and really tried to do their best to program, code, and make that type of game and have a clean development atmosphere for this game. So this is awesome to see. Fire Emblem Engage is looking absolutely incredible, and I'll continue covering the game. We're less than a month away. I mean, it seems like the game was just announced not too long ago, but we're less than a month away from the game dropping on January 20th, so it's going to be super hype when we get to play this game, because I'm clearing out everything to play Fire Emblem Engage. So what are your thoughts on Kagetsu and some of this new information with Fire Emblem Engage? Getting hyped for the title? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, guys, we do have an update when it comes to DNF Duel on the Nintendo Switch. We got a release date plus some new information as well. Now, the Nintendo Switch version of DNF Duel does have a release date. Publisher Nexon, along with developers Neopol, Arc System Works, and Aiding, confirmed that the fighter will be ready to go on April 20th, 2023. So another big Nintendo Switch game gets added in for the first half of 2023, and this game's exciting. Arc System Works fighting games on the Nintendo Switch have been great. Stuff like Dragon Ball Fighters has been fantastic. Blaze Blue, they've done a great job, and the fact that Aiding, one of my favorite developers, old school developers, the guys who did the Clash of Ninja series back in the day, are on this, just goes to show you that this is going to be a quality experience. Based on the PlayStation version of the game, it reviewed really well. It just didn't necessarily sell so well, but it seems like it did well enough because they're still supporting it with updates. They have the Switch version that's coming here. It seems like it's going to play and look pretty good as well. So there was also some more information that was announced as well too. We have a season pass is in the pipeline, which brings about 5 new DLC characters, which includes Spectre. Presumably this content will be offered on the Nintendo Switch as well. So very good stuff all around here. This game has a really good rollback netcode for the most part. I did see people playing the game online, and it seemed like everything just worked. The only thing is that DNF necessarily isn't super popular outside of the people, I guess, that are into the franchise beforehand. So I think that this might have a little bit of trouble getting some traction, but I feel that since it is an isolated release on the Nintendo Switch, there aren't a lot of other fighting games to this level in terms of what they're doing, and it's launching in a pretty clear time period for the Nintendo Switch. There aren't any other major fighting games coming out around that time on Switch. I think that this can have some success when it comes down to it. Would have been great if it launched day and date with the PlayStation, but hey, sometimes it doesn't work out that way. So I'm excited to see how DNF Duel does and kind of what's going on with it. I think it's one of those games that might not have too many physical versions, so I'm definitely going to be copping it for my collection, but we'll see how everybody reacts to the game and see how it does on the market. So what are your thoughts on DNF Duel and some of these updates and what's going on here with the release date set on the Nintendo Switch? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, guys, we've got some more information on a big, highly anticipated Nintendo Switch RPG coming out in 2023 in Japan, and that is Ys 10 Nordics. So the latest issue of the weekly Famitsu features an interview with Falcom president Mr. Kondo, and he shares a few more details on the newly announced Ys series 35th anniversary title, Ys 10 Nordics. So let's go over this information here because I find this very interesting, especially what he had to say about the Nintendo Switch. So Nordics is a term that means people of the North. The time period goes away back after the events of Ys 1 and 2. Adal is 17 years old and on his way to Celceta, which is brought up by the manual preface of Ys. Now, Dr. Flair Rail is traveling with you. The story is of boys and girls. Since it's the first time we're releasing on the Nintendo Switch, the main characters are younger, and part of that was considering the user base. So I think that, especially in Japan, there are still some of these developers out there that think that, oh, well, Switch, younger audience, we got to appeal to that. So it is what it is there, but I still think that the game looks absolutely incredible, so I guess it's okay. Now, there are two playable characters, Adal and the Axe Girl. That being said, the action is dense, and there are all sorts of things you can do. There are towns, but your base will always be your ship. Solo mode offers the usual high-speed battles of the Ys series. Combination mode lets you pull off more powerful attacks, but the overall speed of battle is slower, so you can fight more carefully. The speed only changes on Adal's side. You can only switch to combination mode when you're holding down a certain button, then it switches back to solo mode when the said button is released. Now, defense carries major weight. Guarding builds up your revenge gauge, which can increase your attack power. We've taken considerable care to adjust the difficulty level so that a wide range of users can enjoy the game. There are special actions called mana actions. There's more freedom when performing mid-air actions. About 20% of the game is sailing your ship. There are maps dedicated to ship and naval battles occur when you encounter enemies. There is also a growth or character development element to the ship. We'll release new footage either in the early new year or in the spring. Hopefully the release date will be around the same time as usual. Then they laughed about that. We're quite aware of the challenge we're undertaking in the new field that is Switch. Production is currently underway with the intention of making a game that both series newcomers and fans alike can enjoy. Now, Ys 10 Nordics is due out for the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch in 2023 in Japan. And the reason why he talked about that when it comes to the production challenge with the Nintendo Switch is because you're working with a different spec system that you're used to, and you're also working with the system that you don't usually work on. This is the first time ever that Falcom is handling this in-house with the Nintendo Switch version of Ys at the same time as other versions. They're used to PlayStation. They can make those games, it's no problem, but Switch has been a bigger challenge for them for pretty much the whole generation. They didn't even have Switch development kits in-house, and this is the first time that they're doing it. So it's going to be interesting to see the results of it, but they did state that they are taking care with that. I would like to see them do a better job than what we've seen recently with some of the Ys games, Ys 9 to be exact. Ys 8 wasn't too bad. I felt that that could have been handled better, but it wasn't horrible. But Ys 9 port was definitely not great. So I think that's the reason why he's saying that as well. Now, they didn't necessarily do that, but still, like, they still need to learn a bit more when it comes to Nintendo Switch. It can run and look better considering the type of games that we've seen on the Switch, like Astral Chain and also like The Legend of Zelda. I mean, we've seen these games push the system a bit better than what is being shown on with Ys. So we should see a better version of it here. So what do you guys think when it comes to Ys 10 Nordics on the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation? I think that this game is going to be very good, launching 2023 in Japan, and it should come out probably early 2024 for the rest of the world. Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the final topic here, guys. We've got a little bit of a discussion when it comes to The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. We've got a brand new rating by the ESRB, and some people were a little bit miffed by it because they feel that it's not going to be what they want because of the rating. So we do have an E10 rating by the ESRB. So essentially what that means is that that is the rating board for everything that's inside your game. So if you're rated by the ESRB, somebody from Nintendo, the publishing, licensing, whatever the case is, said, hey, this game is done, it is ready to go, here's what's in the game. Now, before you release your game, you have to have your rating, and the rating is very important because it's everything that's inside the game, some of the stuff that happens, so you can't change things up after you've already put in the ratings board. Otherwise, you could get in trouble because there might be something that won't be suitable for that age of E10 or for the rating of E10. So everything is done with this game. This game is complete and it will be printed at some point. Nintendo doesn't talk about when games go gold, but anyway, for the most part, this game is done. And that May 12th release date of 2023 is locked in. So that's definitely a good thing. Now, we don't really know much with The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and people have voiced that very, very much when it comes down to it, that they haven't shown anything, and I think that that's okay. This is a sequel to one of the biggest games of all time, and when the time comes, they're going to show the game. They're going to show it, and it's going to be incredible, and everyone's going to go buy it because Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is literally the spiritual manifestation of what the Nintendo Switch was about at the launch when it comes to the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. If it wasn't for this game in particular, the Switch would not have the success that it had. It was a game that carried a system on its back and still to this day propels it forward as being one of the best selling games on the system worldwide. So in my opinion, they don't really need to show anything all right now when they have a bunch of other games coming out before it and other third-party games. You can wait, and then you could have that blowout that everyone is looking for, and everyone, when it comes to Nintendo Switch, is going to go out there and buy The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. They're going to want to see what they did with the gameplay. They're going to want to see what they did with the dungeons. Even if they didn't add whatever people were looking for, they're still going to want to play the game, considering the monumental feat that was The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild back in 2017. So I feel that this is just fine. When they show the game off, it's going to be incredible. When they show more of it, I've seen enough to know that I'm going to pick up the game, and I'm hyped and I'm ready to go. It's got that set locked in release date. Things are going to be moving, I think, in 2023 with this game. So we got to be a little bit more patient. It's been a while, 2019 when they first announced it, but when it does finally drop, I think it's going to be a sight to behold. So what are your thoughts, guys, on everything that we discussed here when it comes to the best Nintendo Switch and RPG news? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.